murders the Dursleys and is adopted by the Addams family. Yeah, look up Harvest with an E at the end, Addams. Stuff is brilliant. And I'm also working on a song about how being a tabletop role player makes TV and movies suck, because obviously all these characters have brain damage. They have no understanding of tactics or strategy. I want to beat them in the head, force them to read Musashi, Sun Tzu, the evil overlord list.
You want to rewrite canon.
Yeah.
As demonstrated with our last Marvel session.
Yep.
I so loved pulling that on you.
I'm so glad you did.
I so loved pulling that on you.
I won't ask.
You really
That's
should.
And the mindfuck isn't over yet.
I know
That's-
it's not. It's
That's the evil game master voice.
Evil only insofar as he is plotting to torture your characters in ways that will be extremely entertaining to both of you.
It's consensual torture. It's,
Yeah, pretty much.
it's mental BDSM.
Yeah, kinda.
You enter the role-playing game and you consent to a certain extent to having your mind fucked with. In fact,
And the safe word is always out of character.
one friend of ours began a Call of Cthulhu game, and knowing that cosmic horror that drives characters insane could possibly mess with players, she gave everyone a 3x5 card and said, okay, in secret, write down your hard limit. Maybe you can't deal with your character, for example, having something horrible happen to their eyes. Or maybe you can't deal with your character having to watch a loved one die. And one player wrote, bring it.
And she brought it.
Yep. First session, his Catholic girlfriend comes to him and says, I'm pregnant, I want a ring. Talk about cosmic horror.
Yeah, well,
I've got,
for some guys, yes.
I've got a Tuesday night game, and I've got one player who is playing our resident madman.
Like you do.
And every game session until the last two, he ended with more fate chips than he could ever start with, because every time that something evil could happen, then he could make a bad decision. He goes, yep, okay, I'll take it. He doesn't even think about what he's getting out of it. He just goes, yep, we're doing it. Xander is great.
Yep.
Split your tongue.
Well, it is now a little bit past 6 o'clock. Hello, everyone watching on the YouTube feed. This show covers mature subject matter. So if you are underage or the kind of person who is offended by bad language or adult situations, kindly fuck off now.
If you're one of our fans, your children already know the bad words.
Yeah, pretty much.
They invented 3 of them.
Yeah.
So,
Hi, guys.
Hi,
hi.
thanks for coming.
We're gonna start off. Oh, and we have been standing for quite some time. This time we are sitting because I'm actually not feeling 100% well tonight, and I thought I'll have a better chance of actually getting all the way through the show
Yeah,
if I'm not trying to stand for 2 hours at the same time.
I remember the show where you almost passed out.
There were a couple of shows like that.
Then there was the show where I was almost ill.
Yeah, from all the heat.
Yeah, this venue gets really hot in the summer. Okay.
Yeah.
So we're going to start with Angry Candy.
Yep.
This is on my 2 CD set live at Lestat's, for sale up front. And it's about people who play too goddamn much Vampire the Masquerade.
Which would be all of them.
The poison comes in such a pretty bottle, much nicer than the if your life has left you starved for beauty, you'll drink it because it seems like a good idea at the time. If you spend all of your coins on angry candy, you'll have none left for roses or for bread. Would you have second thoughts about the garments that you weave if you knew you'd have to wear them when you're dead? It's lovely and it's fun to see things burning much faster than it is to see them built. If life has left you hungry for adventure, it's worth a lot to have your taste of sin without the guilt. If you fill your belly up with angry candy, you'll have no room for what grows on the vine. Would you be more careful of the darkness that you swallow if you knew it blinds you to the things that shine? When you dream of what it's like to live forever, do you think you'll be eternally 19? And the cars will just get faster while the soundtrack just gets louder, and you still can't tell me what your hungers mean. When you see the whole damn world in terms of power, and all that you know how to do is fight, and the future is a boot coming down on a human face forever, then the angry candies emptied you of light. You can choose to fill that hollow place with meaning, or you can choose to fill it up with blood. Everything you dream about has consequences somewhere, and you are all you will ever know of Satan and of God. If you waste all of your time on angry candy, there are things you need to hold that you'll never touch. If life has left you hungry, it's so sweet against the tongue that you can't believe you've eaten quite so much. The poison comes in such a pretty bottle, much nicer than the water over the wine. And if your life has left you starved for beauty, you'll drink it because it seems like a good idea at the time.
Thank you.
This one is about an awesome book, Shauna McGuire's Indexing, first released as a Kindle serial. It's about the secret group in charge of making sure that fairy tales do not rupture into the real world and control people, which kind of sounds a little dingy, but it's awesome.
It really, truly is awesome.
This is called Deadly Ever After.
Hush, little darling, be glad you're alive. Your sister is busily sharpening knives, and your daddy's new widow is a monster on treads. Come with me or else soon you'll be dead. I'm not much to look at least in good light. The shape is just fine, but the color's a fright. And I know I might scare you, but trust me, my dear, It's the story, not me, you should fear. And the tale marches on, searching forever after, not happy at all. Put an S on that laughter. The narrative couldn't care less who it kills by the by. When it's already written, the scene where you died, but the head taker's axe is turned roughly aside by the piper, the fighter, the builder, the killer, and I. It's the story, not you, that will die. It's a gingerbread house in a nestle of trees. Why isn't it covered with ants, flies, and bees? There's a fire on the hearth and a pot full of stew. The ingredient missing is you. Don't give me your lip, boy, it's not gonna fly. There are laws that the world will not let you defy. And it's true, I admit, that you'd never grow old. But the landing would leave you quite cold. And the tale marches on, searching forever after, not happy at all. Put an S on that laughter. The narrative couldn't care less who it kills by the by. When it's already written, the scene where you died, but the head taker's axe is turned roughly aside by the piper, the fighter, the builder, the killer, and I. It's the story, not you, that will die. We each barely escaped from the clutches of fables, which makes us uniquely equipped to disable them. But there's still dangers with which we must grapple. So whatever you do, don't give me that apple. God damn it, I'm sleeping. I can't break this spell. So I'll have to rely on the sister from hell, who will borrow a tale from the cat down the hall. Just the villain to rescue us all. And the tale marches on, searching forever after, not happy at all. Put an S on that laughter. The narrative couldn't care less who it kills by the by. When it's already written, the scene where you died, but the head taker's axe is turned roughly aside by the piper, the fighter, the builder, the killer, and I. It's the story, not you, that will die. Thank you.
Now we're going to get emo for a little bit. I wrote this 10 years ago when I was passing through a really dismal bout of depression. It's called The Book of Secrets. Actually, let me check my tuning. Both of us?
Yeah, our guitars have been acting ornery lately and deciding to go out of tune between every song, so.
You know, I love how just sitting here, the body heat expands the wood just enough.
Yup.
This is the book of secrets. This is the longest night of the year, and sorrow's heavy in my body like a stone. This is the darkest day. This is the manuscript nobody can decipher. Anyway, I don't have any secrets left to tell. I am at sea without a sextant, and I navigate by dreams. Here is a key, precisely like a lock. Here is a rose with teeth in its dark heart. Here is the strange machine you take apart, so it can function. Here is the lamp on which you knock, the door you cut with, and the knife you light. Here is the riddle that you've finally gotten right at the wrong junction. I have been standing on the threshold for a year and a day now, but I can't get through the doorway to the place I go from here. I have been searching for an answer. I have been waiting to be born. I have been living in the wrong world, and I want to go home now. Here is a key, precisely like a lock. Here is a rose with teeth in its dark heart. Here is the strange machine you take apart, so it can function. Here is the lamp on which you knock, the door you cut with, and the knife you light. Here is the riddle that you've finally gotten right at the wrong junction. This is the book of secrets. This is the long dark night of the soul. I'm on the road without a compass, and the maps are full of lies. This is the heart of solitude, and I don't know why it's not beating. I'm walking barefoot through the underworld. It's cold as any stone. This is the book of secrets. This is the longest night of the year.
All right, this is on the new album. In fact, the next couple songs that I will be playing are on the new album. New album is called Heroes. And here's a song about one of my favorite heroes. I once wore a helm, or should I say, it once wore me. It gave me the power, isn't it great, being Dr. Fate? I lived in a tower and I studied the magics of old. It would have been perfect if I'd been the one in control. Back in World War II, when need was great, it was my fate to merge with Naboo and save the day with Alan and Jay. The Justice Society didn't much outlive the war, so I went back into the tower and studied some more. And when I came out, I was alone. Naboo had flown. He guides someone new. Isn't it great, being Dr. Fate?
Here's one of my Buddhist songs. You know, I dream of someday doing an album of all the Buddhist influenced stuff. I want to call it The Fool and the Lotus. And get cover art with the tarot card Fool tripping on a lotus. This is the River Road.
Wait, tripping on a lotus or tripping on lotus?
Yes.
Yes. Don't imagine you're the first to walk the thorn path, dusk to dawn. The bubbles rise, the bubbles burst, the river just keeps rolling on. Don't imagine you're alone in carrying that razor load. You're just a bubble made of bone, like billions on the river road. And everyone will rise, and everyone will fall, and everyone knows suffering, so mercy to us all, mercy to us all. Don't think you're the only one to lose the game and pay the cost. We all ride down the river run, through rapids and by tempest tossed. Don't think any of the things you hold on to can ever last. The river takes, the river brings, the river it runs awfully fast. And everyone will float, and everyone will sink. We all know pain, so mercy to all creatures that can think, to all creatures that can think. The water's deep, the water's cold, the river it runs hard and wild. You're only water when all's told, you're nothing but the river's child. Don't believe the walls you build can keep the flood outside your door. Each valley that the river filled believed that once and does no more. Don't believe that you will drown, however far you've fallen in. The river only pulls you down so it can teach you how to swim. And everyone will rise, and everyone will fall, and everyone knows suffering, so mercy to us all, mercy to us all.
You know what's coming.
Oh, yeah, I do. I'm pleased.
Dinah was never one to shy from a fight. She can beat you up while she's sleeping. And if you make her mad enough to raise her voice, then it's you who'll run away screaming. 'Cause Dinah was never quite the quietest girl. Her voice can shatter a mountain. But if you think a gag would save you, you'd be wrong. She can hold her own against Batman. She would always like to say, saving the world is why I'm here today. She's brave and bold and takes no sass. She's the Black Canary and she'll kick your ass. Now, I'd like you all to join me on singing that last part. So I'm going to sing that chorus again, and you join me on the last line, okay? She would always like to say, saving the world is why I'm here today. She's brave and bold and takes no sass. She's the Black Canary and she'll kick your ass. Excellent. Dinah was never an approachable girl, or at least that's what all the men would think, until a guy named Queen, who's courteous and green, simply asked her out for a friendly drink. 'Cause Ollie was never one to swagger or brag, didn't mind that Dinah could beat him. And when she knew he had nothing to prove and she didn't have to defeat him, she would always like to say, give me respect and you will earn the same. She's strong and kind and takes no sass. She's the Black Canary and she'll kick your ass. Dinah was clever like her mother before. She used the gifts that God gave her, and with a long blonde wig to top the image off, she knew her secret was safer. Bruce, Clark, Diana, Arthur, Barry, and Hal, Sean and Carter, Ollie and Dinah are the ones to go to save us one and all, but among them no one is finer than she who'd always like to say, justice is more than fighting crime all day. She's smart and kind and takes no sass. She's the Black Canary and she'll kick your ass. She would always like to say, saving the world is why we're here today. She's brave and bold and takes no sass. She's the Black Canary and she'll kick your ass.
You know, just as Dave Carter and Tracy Grammer, a duo like us who much, much better, they did what they say was probably the first Buddhist country album, Drum Hat Buddha, which is excellent. I might be the first person to write a song about an obscure 19th century neurological syndrome.
It's not obscure. It's
It
actually...
It has a Wikipedia entry, but everything does.
Yes, but no, it's still being diagnosed today.
Really?
There are people today, in fact, I just saw a SciShow about it, there are people today who legitimately have Cotard syndrome.
Wow. Okay.
Like they told the story of an old man who got very depressed, and when the psychologist asked him why he was depressed, the guy said, well, because I'm dead and my friends have not bothered to bury me yet, and it makes me sad.
Yeah, 19th century French neurologists identified this syndrome, people literally believing they were dead. And I went through a period of a year and a half where my brain chemistry decided, fuck you, I'm going to completely shut down your emotions and make everything feel like it's not really happening. So, the song is called Give My Regards to Dr. Cotard. I knew theoretically I was alive, but I thought I might possibly be in someone else's dream or computer simulation. My soul has gone walkabout somewhere below. It's been interesting living without her. She had people to see, she had places to go. She had real pressing business and a long road to hoe. I know she'll be back, her goodbye note said so, but I think I'm beginning to without her. And I'm floating above everything like a feather. My grounding has gone underground. And I might blow away if there's rough enough weather. I might get too lost to be found. And I do wish that she'd stayed around. Oh, my soul has been traveling more than a year. It's been interesting living alone. I miss my emotions except for the fear. I was billed for her ticket and damn it was dear. She sent me a postcard, said wish you were here. The stamp said Republic of Bone. And I'm floating above everything like a feather. My grounding has gone underground. And I might blow away if there's rough enough weather. I might get too lost to be found. And I do wish that she'd stayed around. Oh, do I live without life? Do I live without something I can't understand? With no flame to my candle. Well, give my regards to Dr. Cotard, 'cause he knows how it goes. My soul ran away wearing only her skin. She left behind all that's worth keeping. I've posted her picture on cartons of sin, but no one has seen her or knows where she's been. I left open a window so she can come in, if she maybe comes home while I'm sleeping. Do I live without life? Do I live without something I can't understand? With no flame to my candle. Well, give my regards to Dr. Cotard, 'cause he knows how it goes when it's gone. And now for something completely different.
Oh, yes.
Sometimes amazing muses come to Eben.
Huxley was about to tread that brave new world of being dead. With pen and paper he began to scrawl. His note said, give me LSD, 1 small syringe, 0.1 cc. 'Cause when I go I want to be tripping balls. Tripping balls, tripping balls, screw it all, I'll be tripping balls. Tripping balls, tripping balls, screw it all, I'll be tripping balls. Tripping balls, tripping balls, screw it all, I'll be tripping balls. No better way to end it all than by tripping balls. Willie Nelson got arrested, hash 4 kilos, he possessed it. They charged him with drug dealing, as I recall. But Willie Nelson said, no way, I smoked that much since yesterday. So please be on your way, I'm tripping balls. Tripping balls, tripping balls, so long y'all, I'm tripping balls. Tripping balls, tripping balls, so long y'all, I'm tripping balls. Tripping balls, tripping balls, for it all, I'm tripping balls. I'm singing songs in crowded halls while I'm tripping balls. So many things in the world that are legal are much more dangerous. Like smoking cigarettes, driving in Los Angeles, or drinking booze. It all comes down to a question of what do you want for yourself? Because it ain't nobody's goddamn business if you do. Colorado and Washington did a thing most thought could not be done. Struck cannabis prohibition from their laws. And other drugs may follow suit, 'cause there's a movement no one can refute. And if their efforts do bear fruit, we'll be tripping balls. Tripping balls, tripping balls. Yeah, we'll all be tripping balls. Tripping balls, tripping balls. Yeah, we'll all be tripping balls. Tripping balls, tripping balls. Yeah, we'll all be tripping balls. Read the writing on the walls, we're tripping balls. Until civilization falls, we'll be tripping balls. What's the next line? I don't recall. I'm tripping balls. And this next song is about tripping balls in a slightly different context.
This is almost 30 years old. Every once in a while, in between writing songs about transcendently horrible experiences, I would write about transcendently glorious ones. Drugs were not actually involved.
Unless you count oxytocin.
Let's not get into that. I will not be playing Oxytocin High tonight. Open your mind. You're on that frequency. We started weaving this before you were born. Step through the gate. You have been sending and receiving. We are your people and we're welcoming you home. And this web radiates in lines of singing light. We are the center and the edge when you're on that frequency. And this web radiates electric and alive, and it can take you home. Don't be afraid, because it's larger than you are. All this could fit within one bubble of bone. And you won't drown, and you won't get lost in here. This could not work if all its pieces were the same. And this web radiates in lines of singing light. We are the center and the edge when you're on that frequency. And this web radiates electric and alive, and it can take you home. It's not so strange. Come on, you've known this all your life. This is your language and the place where you belong. It's not so hard. Reach out and take that offered hand. You will go down into the dark, but not alone. And this web radiates in lines of singing light. We are the center and the edge And now for something completely different.
This one is on Dr. Captain Dovahkiin Chief, and I really need to tune before I do this, otherwise I will curdle mill.
This had its roots of roots in our days with Wild Oats, when we learned a lot of old traditional drinking songs from the British Isles and messed with them.
And then Wolf Clouchy started messing around with it in a slightly different context.
Yep.
And he wrote 3 verses, and I wrote the other 2, and this is what happened.
I think this is time for that Margaret Cho quote. How come everybody in the BDSM scene is also totally into Star Trek and the Renaissance Fair?
No worries.
There were 3 drunken Klingons come from the sky one night. They drank from Monday morning, nor stopped till Saturday night. When Saturday night came round, me boys, they would not then go out. These 3 drunken Klingons, they pushed the jug about. Now here's Jedzia Dax, she's a slug with eyes of blue. Move up, me jolly Klingons, for I'm a Klingon too. And I will be your equal before that we go out. These 4 drunken Klingons, they push the jug about. There's fresh roque blood pie, there's heart of Targangach. There's all sorts of tasty things that squirm and swim and walk. There's 40 barrels of blood wine, they nearly drunk them out. These 4 drunken Klingons, they push the jug about. Then up comes a Ferengi, he's asking for his pay. It's a 40,000 credit bill these Klingons have to pay. So they marched him to the airlock and neatly shoved him out. These 4 drunken Klingons, they push the jug about. The chief of engineering is feeling mighty blue. They've drunk the antimatter and all of the matter too. And where is the station? You Klingons, brisk and gay. It's nowhere in the quadrant, we drank it clean away. Okay.
So this is one about getting old that I wrote in my 20s. I was really annoying like that. Some of you may remember Drowsy Maggie's Cafe in North Park. I think it closed in 1990.
That guy does.
Yep. And it kind of stands in for everything about being young and wild. I got to go there, I think, once before it went away. Bands like Paradise Street Band, the Strange Woods, they would play there. So this is When They Kissed Drowsy Maggie Goodbye, and I think I'd better just check my tuning because it's one of those nights. It's boring, but trust me, you'd rather I did this than not. Oh, the brandy was sweet down on Paradise Street when they kissed Drowsy Maggie goodbye. And there's many a lover who will not recover, for they never believed she could die. Oh, they never believed she could die. We were young, we were fools, we wore bruises like jewels. We were mad, bad, and dangerous to know. and our hearts on our sleeves shone like new minted leaves, and we had such a long way to go. We would go down to Maggie's and hear her old stories, how we drank and we laughed and we wept, and won yesterday's worth all your bloody tomorrows. Out of all that she gave me, that's all that I've kept. We were good, we were gold, we would never grow old, and the whole world was made to amuse us. We were mad, we were blind, we were destined to find and be found by the ones who'd abuse us. I was Helen of Troy, and the earth was my toy. I was bulletproof, careless and free. Though I had a small clue what the decades could do, I knew they'd never do that to me. Oh no, they'd never do that to me. We would go down to Maggie's and hear her old stories, how we drank and we laughed and we wept, and won yesterday's worth all your bloody tomorrows. Out of all that she gave me, that's all that I've kept. We woke up on the floor to a knock at the door and a hard voice demanding the rent. We threw up in the sink, then we had one more drink for the cash like the time was all spent. We were bought, we were sold, we were suddenly old, and our dreams had gone shabby and grey. But Maggie, our lover, and more than our mother, could help us chase all that away. Oh, she could help us chase all that away. We would go down to Maggie's and hear her old stories, how we drank and we laughed and we wept, and won yesterday's worth all your bloody tomorrows. Out of all that she gave me, that's all that I've kept. I was too full of pride on the night Maggie died to go down there and face where I'd been, but I'm living her awake, and my life's one long ache for the days that will not come again. Oh, the days that will not come again. For the brandy was sweet down on Paradise Street when they kissed drowsy Maggie goodbye. And there's many a lover who will not recover, for they never believed she could die. And now it's, solstice season. Time for a little religious music.
Give us our notes.
I know, I'm an A, what are you?
D. Timere, timere, Cthulhu es nascus, ex thalassicus frigus timere, 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 Cthulhu es nascus, ex thalassicus frigus timere. Tempus ad est metuo, quod provideo, flebilo ploratio, grate devoveo, timere, timere, Cthulhu es nascus, ex thalassicus frigus timere, 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 Cthulhu es nascus, ex thalassicus frigus timere. Cthulhu corpus factus est, valdus prodigiosus, mundus tepereus est, a Cthulhu tyrannus, timere, timere, Cthulhu es nascus, ex thalassicus frigus timere, 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 Cthulhu es nascus, ex thalassicus frigus timere. Reperum accidio perditio undique, inhumane erunt voluntas unique, timere, timere, Cthulhu est nascus, ex thalassicus frigus timere, 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 Cthulhu est nascus, ex thalassicus frigus timere. Ergo nostra contio precatiam in caso, redo conversatio ac Cthulhu regi nostro, timere, timere, Cthulhu est nascus, ex thalassicus frigus timere, 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 Cthulhu est nascus, ex thalassicus frigus timere.
That is based on a traditional Christmas hymn, Gaudete, an arrangement that we learned, of course, from Steel Eye Span. Well, listening to a lot of Steel Eye Span and the John Renborn group and so forth, I heard a lot of versions of John Barleycorn. And eventually I had to write my own. This is The Sickle and the Plow, and it is on the Live at Lestat's CD set. At the gallows and the birthing chair, in battlefield and bed, it's an old and lovely dance we do, all the living and the dead. Your partner may be a corpse or a child, take her hand and take a bow, for the piper has begun to play the sickle and the plow. To the sickle and the plow, me boys, let us raise our tankards high, for before that he can live again, John Barleycorn must die. John Barleycorn must die. There were 3 kings came out of the west in keeping with a vow, and they carried gold and frankincense and a sickle and a plow, and they neither walked nor rode, seeking one who was neither free nor slave, till they came unto John Barleycorn to lay him in his grave. They wedded him to the soft brown earth, and he laid down with his bride. She folded him in her cool dark arms, and in that embrace he died. But the seed he spilled in dying filled the belly of the earth, and the seasons turned and the rain fell down, and she brought his son to birth. To the sickle and the plow, me boys, let us raise our tankards high, for before that he can live again, John Barleycorn must die. John Barleycorn must die. In the image of his father, then he grew up fine and tall, till at last he wore a crown of gold which did amaze them all. In the name of both his parents, then they cut him off at the knee, and they laid his body in a cart, and they took him to the brewery. You may know him by the crook and flail as the lord of all that's born. You may know him by the torches twain and the bull caught by the horns. You may know him hung on the tree and wearing a crown of thorns. Let's raise a glass to toast them all, it's just John Barleycorn. To the sickle and the plow, me boys, let us raise our tankards high, for before that he can live again, John Barleycorn must die. John Barleycorn must die. In the straw below the headsman's block, in the straw behind the barn, everywhere that life is lost or made, there walks John Barleycorn. In his name we drink and fight and love, till at last we must lie down, for we've danced a pretty measure of the sickle and the plow. To the sickle and the plow, me boys, let us raise our tankards high, for before that he can live again, John Barleycorn must die. John Barleycorn must die. Thank
All right.
you.
that's the end of our first set.
What time is it?
It is 7 minutes until 7.
Okay, we're going to come back with references to everything from Firefly to Neil Gaiman's Sandman, Dilbert, and Sergei Lukyanenko's Night Watch series. So give us a few minutes, go get a drink.
And I will be, of course, I will be up there selling CDs, our CDs, including the new one.
Heroes.
Heroes is the new one. Dr. Captain Dovahkiin Chief is the previous one, and I'm out. So, but Heroes is available tonight. See you in about 6 minutes.
At some point, yeah.
Oh, that's right, I was like, wait, that's so you got it at Target. I was like, what? Yeah.
Somebody knows
Gotcha. That made sense. I was like, that doesn't fit. What? And so it's like making little like, completing cultural things to improve yourself as a person.
Okay.
Or at least improving your status as somebody who is clearly cultured.
There's actually 5 covers of the story, but they're such good songs. I had to try something fairly stupid.
I didn't rinse the conditioner out of my hair. I didn't realize until I was off the bike, threw the helmet on, there was a squish.
Thank you very much.
So I had to get out of my hair. I had to put back the helmet too.
Oh, where they pull out something Latin or?
Yeah, the incantations are in Latin. I knew them.
No, this is the quote-unquote band cover. And there will be physical copies for sale with both covers. It's just that for the most part, the alternate cover is available online. And
I'm in Richmond to play.
And now I have to sew it. I was like, alright. Shouldn't take too long. I mean, I've already got the zipper in, which is like the hardest part. I just stitch the legs.
I do. Indeed.
Thanks yourself.
We're buying a copy today.
Okay. And I will pay you back later.
Yes.
Okay.
We already talked about this like
I know, but I
Hello.
like not wanting you to spend all your pennies.
Moving back.
I have pennies. Care for the pennies.
Right.
You don't know what excellent. I'll swing.
What? Oh, gotcha.
Also got shoes that like
So you were buying 8?
what I'm gonna do.
Okay.
And I will be buying a future copy with other copies.
I did write down all the.
Sorry, they look crispy and golden and
I
delicious.
went to the lyrics to the Sweet Transvestite song, whatever, and I added some that seemed appropriate, like.
Well, yeah, I mean, there's some stuff I just did the callback
I
to start
don't
knowing
know
that
what you're
there's a bunch of
talking
stuff actually
Penguin
from
things.
the movie itself.
Oh,
Right?
no. So I would have like both Shut the your
Oh,
mouth. callback stuff and then the actual.
Yeah, sure.
Well, here, I'll be even more.
And now I've got to figure
Now
out, there's that big list. It says you can ask for it, but there's stuff that should be in there that isn't.
I've taken this.
Especially the one that I thought everyone had gone, it's not in there, is, yeah, Michelangelo has the ceiling.
What is that reference to? Which part is?
That's the swimming pool has the Sistine Chapel ceiling at the bottom of it. Yeah, I said the ceiling.
That's funny. Oh god.
No, that's not random. That's
And then the ending, the farewell, that leaves the you Kathy. Thanks for coming. If you didn't, better luck next time.
I'm sorry.
I'm wondering if they're trying to bring Xander
Urgent.
to.
Rent requires your attention.
I was gonna ask you.
Have you seen someone who's sufficiently twisted get a kick out of it?
It
Yes.
requires your attention, so you can
And
ask him.
a little evangelical about it.
Hi, Arjun.
Head towards the evangelical foundation.
I think I'm the head of the line, and they're just hanging out.
So,
Yeah.
Your security code has been rubbed
The other
off.
night in our, well, it was actually Aldous' game, but we actually had a good.
And your zip code.
Like battle after battle after battle. And we're like, can we get some
I
role
still
playing
take
going?
responsibility.
We have great characters, and there's no role playing.
just killing stuff is fun when you're 14. But yeah.
Yeah, I'm like, I can't do another battle, dude. I'm done. But like,
Okay.
and especially because
Would
it's
you
not like
like,
epic
an
stuff
email
for fighting, or
receipt?
like stuff that's like, you know, like a big deal. It's like, oh, go fight some like cold
Okay,
things out. Because
we're good.
Okay. And I'm just like, what?
Yeah, grab one.
But
Hooray!
we actually broke into a brothel, or not broke in, we got into a brothel, and
Yep,
this
absolutely.
huge mess just happened. It was so funny.
15.
Me and Brent's characters are pretty close to
Oh, okay. So
sealing the
that'll be
deal.
30.
The two of them, but I just don't know how the DM's gonna take that. But
If you're an DM and you're not prepared for whatever your character's doing, you fail, haven't you?
You can't beat what we did.
True enough.
or I guess if you're not prepared, but you're like, all right, cool. But if you have like a reaction to it, it's like bad. It's like,
Yeah, you know, you're supposed to find a way to go with it.
Yeah.
It's like if you're trying to do improv. The only real rule is whatever someone else says you can't just say, you let me know. You've got to find some way to go with it.
hey Kat, what if we brought Cassandra to rock us apart? Would we be into that?
I don't know. He's pretty chill and
It's
down
just, I can just imagine him being so like scarred but not scarred. Oh, sorry. It's okay.
I've been working on a scene from our Marvel. I've been GMing.
Oh, nice.
Yeah. Last session. The character that I am playing has believed her mother to be dead for several years. Except her mother can't die because her mother is the goddess of her dead. She has discovered that hell is her mother. Yeah. She is still coping with this. It's going to take a while for her to cope with this.
Anyone else, or are we done? You can also buy it after the show's over if you're still waffling.
Because there's a song about him in there. That is one of my uncle's line works.
Which one? Oh, yeah. Deadly Ever After.
Because
Yeah, that is definitely.
By the way, on a couple things. First of all, CJ is actually backing down.
Yep, that one's on Dr. Guy.
Oh, yeah. The other day he even said, I'm not
Unfortunately, I am currently out
make
of.
Jeff.
But, Remedy had that very soon.
He brought in his brother, and your brother
No, I
said,
bought this
no.
of the swapping. The ones I made are even worse.
We need to be back on stage.
So, yeah, that was.
Allison, we need to be back on stage.
Yes, I'm back on stage now.
Good, good.
We need someone to confirm that the feed is still running,
I can do that.
because sometimes it goes.
Yeah, but it only did that once.
Well,
And I think it only did that the one time I was running it through Safari rather than through Webcast.
Okay.
I will check anyway, just for safety.
That is a good idea.
Because the last thing we need is for you to discover it later and be sad.
Yes, of course.
Looks like it's still live. There are a couple people watching.
Okay.
Cool, cool.
I see you guys sitting down now, so I'm gonna.
Yep, that's about the right amount of delay, so we're good.
So this one is about the writing of Spider Robinson. It's called Learning to be Human. We rise, we remember, we recover, we regret. Revelations, resolutions, expectations never met. We sink, we surrender, we resurface, we survive. No salvation, no easy solutions. If it hurts, you're still alive. Hold on, we are learning to be human. Hold out, there are answers down the line. Hold up your end of the agreement. Hold fast, and you will become divine. We create, we consider, we contrive, we control. Complications, convolutions, correspondence of the soul. We dream, we discover, we disorder, we define. Destinations, dissolution, no illusions this time. Hold on, we are sending and receiving. Hold out, we are reaching for the sky. Hold up the weight of all your promises. Hold fast, and you will learn how to fly. Hold on, we go back to the beginning. Hold out, we continue to the end. Hold up the burden of your worthiness. Hold fast, and you will come home again.
Hello, the rest of the Engleharts.
Hi, guys.
Yay! Oh, yeah. You're not always last
So-
here, Roger.
So, I wrote this song about my 10-year high school reunion, which I didn't end up going to.
It's okay, most of the people in the song probably didn't either.
I went to my 20, and none of the people in the song were there. Stephen left home, for where to I'm not certain. Found himself a lover, the first in his life. And Michael's in Irvine, behind the orange curtain. 2 beautiful daughters, and I still want his wife.
Free falling, and I'm free falling.
And all the vampire... Oh, darn it! And Eric is posing for Hugh Hefner's cameras and making good money in movies, it seems. And my heart was broken by a girl named Tamara, who took off pursuing her thespian dreams. Why do we try to remember those days when we were all young and green? Does anyone here have no regrets about those days when we were terminally 17? Terminally 17. Dave found religion and then found a lover. She too was a Christian, she messed with his mind. And Randy's still living at home with his mother. He hasn't forgiven us for being unkind. Why do we try to remember those days when we were all young and green? Does anyone here have no regrets about those days when we were terminally 17? Terminally 17. Wendy fell for Randy's cool older brother. It didn't last long, but they had some good times. And Frederick and I, we always hated each other. But if living well is the best revenge, then Rache ist mine. 'cause I've got a wife now and 2 other lovers. They all like each other, they tease me no end. It gets complicated down under the covers, but I could do worse things than sleeping with friends. Why do we try to remember those days when we were all young and green? Does anyone here have no regrets about those days when we were terminally 17? Terminally 17. Terminally 17.
Might be for the best that the people in the song didn't hear it. In some way.
Certain ones, yes. Although I did eventually play it for Wendy, and she actually got a chuckle out of it.
So this one was sparked by an interview with comics writer Alan Moore, where he said you have to be careful of the metaphors you surround yourself with because you can get trapped in them. This is called New Bread. If your body is a cage, then you must be a bird or a prisoner. If your heart commits treason, you must be a country or a king. Well, I live in a church with no locks on its doors. It's got blessings and prayers, but no holy wars. I would give you this faith, but you can't hand out faith like a thing. If your love is a ball and a chain, then you must be a criminal. If your house is a war zone, you must be a nation at war. My love on the hearth rises up like new bread. I'm at peace with the quick and at peace with the dead. I would give you this peace, but you wouldn't know what it was for. If you're winning the rat race, you're still a damn rat. But nowhere is it written that you've got to be that. You can find your way out of the maze. Look up, look up, look up. If the world's dog eat dog, then you must be a killer or a dinner. If your life is a game, then for you to win, I have to lose. Well, I take all things lightly, for all things are light. When you're not burdened down with the need to be right, I would give you this hope, but you're frightened of having to choose. With your nose to the grindstone, you're spiting your face, and you're blind to a world full of infinite grace. You can let go and learn how to fly. Look up, look up, look up. If you look at reality close enough, everything's dancing. There's a light that will never go out at the heart of the world.
Occasionally I write a song, or in this case a filk, that requires a lot of air.
See, if we'd actually gone full-on cyberpunk dystopia as opposed to half-assed cyberpunk dystopia,
Yeah.
we could just put a hole in there and run a quiet little air pump straight into your lungs so you wouldn't have to stop singing to breathe.
Yeah, yeah.
I could probably MacGyver my CPAP into it.
Anyway, this is a famous REM song that I rewrote to be about Firefly. That's odd, it starts with the train job, chains of slob, and oh my god, all the girls are smoking hot. I'll be in my bunk. I am a floating leaf, listen to the wind swirl, verse its own needs, regardless of your own needs. Flies, Mr. Wash, please, Jane, go sit down. River's been delivered in a coffin-sized airtight. Why do we conspire? The alliance is engaged in a government desire to control your life. Miranda's where we're going, in a fever with the reavers breathing down our necks. Creeping by in minimal power, keep fingers crossed, look at all those ships. Gore, ram, uh-oh, here we go. Populations litter in the city streets, move your feet, deadbeat. Verse serves its own needs, reavers hear your heartbeat. Parody the rapture and the Armageddon. Out of here, we're vitriolic, hyperbolic, 50% alcoholic heroes. Damn big, it's the end of the verse as we know it. It's the end of the verse as we know it. It's the end of the verse as we know it, and I feel fine. Simon Tam, he's a surgeon, got a lot of book learning, don't know how to talk to girls, listens to the wind swirl. Here's a guy in uniform, a book burning black man, in every manner reprobate, working for the police state, in a battle in a valley, beat down, watching bombs crush. Uh-oh, this means no staff, golden calf, a renegade spacecraft, turning our misfortune into private enterprise. Offer me a bounty, offer me incentive, I despise your lies. It's the end of the verse as we know it. It's the end of the verse as we know it. It's the end of the verse as we know it, and I feel fine. I feel fine. Oh. The other night we tripped across cargo that we couldn't toss, so we had to take a loss. What the hell, Joss? Running from mobsters, river kills the monsters, kiss the girl, oh damn special hell, boom! We're idiotic, histrionic, big damn heroes, right? Right! It's the end of the verse as we know it. It's the end of the verse as we know it. It's the end of the verse as we know it, and I feel fine. It's the end of the verse as we know it. It's the end of the verse as we know it. It's the end of the verse as we know it, and I feel fine. It's the end of the verse as we know it. It's the end of the verse as we know it. It's the end of the verse as we know it, and I feel fine.
This is called City of Sleep. When superheroes fly, are we remembering our dreams of flight? They never truly die, like the dead we see in dreams. Is grad school just a dream of going back to middle school? The other kids are mean, and I can't find my classroom. The city of sleep is the city where everyone goes. We wander its streets, sometimes not wearing our clothes. We dive so deep, we break the surface on the other side. where the air is sweet and the sky is amazingly wide. Our waking dreams online flash by in random sequences of dandelion wine, of cabbages and kings. Do only people dream? Do cities and machines as well? What happens if my hometown should wake up before I do? The city of sleep is the city where all of us go. The gates of horn and ivory opening far. We laugh and weep and remember things we're not supposed to know. Our faces before we were born, the color our hearts really are. When superheroes fly, are we remembering our dreams of flight?
So, this song was inspired by the comic strip Dilbert. It's called My Boss's Office. My boss's office has a wraparound view of the bay. My boss's office has a computer that's built like a cray that he only uses for email and occasionally to check his stock portfolio. He watches his ill-gotten gains continue to grow. And all I know is that I want my boss's office. My boss's office doesn't have any books or files. My boss's office has a desk that goes on for miles in every direction. Spotless and empty, just like what's between his ears. Polished to a glossy shine that's better than the bathroom mirrors. And if it takes me years, I'm gonna get my boss's office. I see sailboats on the bay. I see dolphins swim and play. 'Cause it's a beautiful day today. So why am I here chained to a cube, banging out code for this pointy-haired rube? My boss's office has a wet bar that's fully stocked. My boss's office, the liquor cabinet is always locked whenever I go in there. When he's out to lunch or off on a trip to Tokyo, I take in the atmosphere, it's better than a TV show. And all I know is that I want my boss's office. I want my boss's office.
just check the tuning again.
And this is the Night Watch song. It is good. I like it.
This song I like.
Yes.
So yeah, I highly recommend both Sergei Lukyanenko's now 6 Night Watch novels and the 2 films directed by Timur Bekmambetov, with some awesome enough action sequences that he later got brought in to do the fight choreography in Abraham Lincoln Vampire Hunter, which I understand, despite being on some level completely idiotic, did have awesome fighting.
It's actually not a bad movie. It's actually fairly well written for what it is. It was like, wow, this could have been totally cheesy and campy, and yet they did a good job.
Ridiculous premise, kind of awesome flick.
Exactly. Exactly.
I like the very end.
There's a leech on the street with a license to kill. Got his paperwork, we can't touch him. Innocence will die, but the balance is kept and the truce goes on. And we stand by and do nothing. And I bite my lip till it bleeds. But the truce demands we do nothing. It's a truce that the whole world needs. But God, sometimes I hate my fucking job. There's a witch on the block doing dark market work. She never did fill the forms out. I hope the bitch resists arrest when we move in. And we're supposed to be good guys, but everything is shades of gray. It's hard to act like good guys when so much gets in the way. And the men upstairs play games inside of games, while Moscow is a chessboard 1 heartbeat away from going up in flames. The twilight deepens and I'm falling farther in, while the humans sleepwalk in the shadow of our sins. A storm is coming that could blow the world away, and they put me on the front lines today. There's a kid in the metro hearing the call, been marked as a meal by a dark one. I've got to save him and recruit him to our side, but he's smart enough not to trust me. I've told him more than I should. If I were him, I wouldn't trust me. This man who claims to be good, who keeps the truce and works within the laws, while monsters who have licenses to hunt walk by, blood dripping from their claws. The twilight deepens and it pulls me farther down, and someone's weeping while I struggle not to drown. A storm is coming that could grind the world to dust, so we do not what we should, but what we must.
And in honor of the holiday season, we present
More religious music.
some Christian music for you.
This is by the John Butler Trio.
O sinner, do not stray from that straight and narrow way, for the Lord is surely watching what you do. If you approach the devil's den, turn around, don't enter in, lest the hand of the Almighty fall on you. He'll fuck you up. Yes, God will fuck you up if you dare to disobey His stern commands. He'll fuck you up. Yeah, He'll really fuck you up. So you better do some praying while you can. Long ago, a man named Lot had a wife he thought was hot, but she wouldn't quit her black and sinful ways. You know it was her own damn fault when God turned that bitch to salt. That's the way he used to do things in those days. He fucked 'em up. Yeah, he really fucked 'em up. When the people went and turned their backs on him, he'll fuck you up. Yeah, he'll fuck your shit right up. Just like he fucked the people up back then. I used to have a friend named Ray who walked the Stinner's way. He got drunk and swore and broke his neighbor's fence. You know he was fully aware that some sheep were over there, and he knew them in the biblical sense. God fucked him up. Yeah, he really fucked Ray up. Paid him back for all his days of wicked sin. He fucked him up. Yeah, he fucked Ray's shit right up. Now he's married to a Presbyterian.
So this is about the medieval Tibetan Buddhist sage Milarepa, as Eben likes to say it, as filtered through Tom Petty and Sheryl Crow. This is Invite Them In. Sit down and have a cup of coffee with your firm conviction that they're out to get you. Sit down and have a cigarette with your awful fear of death. I saw Milarepa at the all-night diner, sharing a table with his personal demons. He said you got to invite them in with compassion on your breath. Stop running away, 'cause nobody runs as fast as pain and sorrow. Stop pushing away, you're just making it hard. Stop putting it off, 'cause it'll be back to kick your ass tomorrow. Breathe in, breathe out, let down your guard. Sit down and start shooting the shit with the fear that you'll never measure up to your ideals. Sit down and have a bottle of beer with the ache of all you've lost. I saw Milarepa at the coffee house, having a Danish with his hurts and hatreds. He said you got to invite them in or you pay 10 times the cost. Stop running away, 'cause nobody runs as fast as fear and loathing. Stop pushing away, you're just making it worse. Stop putting it off, 'cause it'll be back again in different clothing. Just pop the clutch and go into reverse. Invite them in and let them be there while you learn to stand it. Invite them in and give them room to stomp and shout. When they can come and go, they won't always be pounding on your door. If you let them in, you can let them out. Sit down and have a conversation with the loneliness that's eating you alive. Sit down and watch a sunset with your overwhelming rage. I saw Milarepa at the corner bar, buying around for the monsters in his heart. He said they're really not so bad when they're let out of their cage. Stop running away, 'cause nobody runs as fast as pain and sorrow. Stop pushing away, you're just making it hard. Stop putting it off, 'cause it'll be back to kick your ass tomorrow. Breathe in, breathe out, let down your guard.
Just a little over, about 2.5 years ago, some people in LA decided to organize a Geeky music concert that ran concurrently with Comic-Con. And it was called the Badass Music Festival. And they hired me to write the theme song. which I did. And after the festival was over, I asked them, hey, do you mind if I rewrite this so that it's not about the festival, but still, you know, conveys the badassness? And they said, yes, please, go right ahead. And so this is track number 1 on the new CD. This song is called The BAMFs. Ben Kenobi fought Darth Vader, and escape was not his plan. Had to say, I'll see you later, to Chewbacca, Luke in hand. It took the long end of the saber, but it didn't die like Vader thought he'd do. Now his Jedi robes are lighter, but he's a badass menace fighter through and through. They're as different as two rivers, both are crazy, both are free. Both companions to a doctor, both are tools of destiny. One will love you like a fever, one will save you from the reavers, yes it's true. So when the bad guys' plans are derailed, thank these badass major female heroes too. BAMFs, they're the ones you need to call. The BAMFs, when you're about to lose it all. The BAMFs, what they do will blow your mind. If you're a BAMF, come and help us hold the line. Sherlock Holmes has wits like lightning, and it ain't no mystery. Doesn't matter if it's the 19th or the 21st century. Makes a hash of every party, met his match in Moriarty, what to do. But no, he sometimes needs a minder. He's a badass master finder of the clue. Harry Potter, Frodo Baggins, Varric Tethras, all are small, but they've bigger hearts than dragons, and when they put out the call, it's their power of compassion that will bring people to action as a crew. And if you judge them by their shortness, they'll bring badass massive forces down on you. The BAMFs, they're the ones you want to be. The BAMFs, they're the dangerous and free. The BAMFs, here to save all humankind. If you're a BAMF, come and help us hold the line.
Like, you were totally going out of tune because you were playing so hard.
Yeah.
You'll have to retune.
I'll tune up before the next song. Well, the next song is blues, maybe.
So this one is about drinking and the Celtic god of blacksmithing. I've been drinking with Gunvanen, of all drunkards count him first, for a god of steel and fire learns the cruelest edge of thirst. His heart burns bright as the heart of the forge, and his throat's as dry as dust. But he only drinks the whiskey, for the water makes him rust. He is forged in fine Damascus, he is banded dark and bright, with the silver sheen of honor and the violent state of night. His laughter shakes the mountains, and his eyes are clear as trust. His hands are broad as anvils, and his beard is streaked with rust. He is old as deep corrosion, and new as coins that shine. If he's cut, his blood runs whiskey, where a younger god bleeds wine. He is scarred as old men's memories, strong as young men's lust. And at night he hammers dead men's dreams to rust. I've raised a glass with Wayland, and I've said my last goodbye, for he knows the drink will kill him, but he cannot long go dry. So he'll drink to the swords and the sorrows that he carries because he must. He will guide the way his fathers died. He'll burn out before he'll rust. Of all the gods of fire and steel, he's the one that I loved best, for he lived to hammer out the blade, not to bury it in the breast. Let his grave be in some lovely place, far from the cruel and the just. He's been pickled well in whiskey, he won't rust. He's been pickled well in whiskey, he won't rust. Hey, how are we on time?
It's 7:41.
Yeah, I think we
Got
may,
3 songs left. We might
hit the backup.
might need to
yeah.
plug
Everyone-
in one of the extras.
Everybody knows all the witty banter by now, so we've been cutting it back, and that means that we end up with spare time. So we started packing an extra playlist.
Let's rehearse these few extra songs just in case we have to pull them out.
Rather than, pulling them out of our butts like we did in October. This here's a song about Jesus Christ. Well, I was feeling kind of stressed out in heaven on high. I thought I'd take a little stroll, look out through someone else's eyes, take a look at how the world had changed in a couple of thousand years. Oh, I chose an unbeliever cause I thought it might be fun to see how the other side lives when the day at work is done, to get a chance to laugh a real laugh and to cry some real tears. Cause I've been hanging on a cross for 20 centuries. It's enough to make a God wanna beg on his knees. I feel so bad down to my lack of shoes. I got the day of fighty bray carpenterial blues. Well, I saw so many new things in this American land, and I think all this technology is getting out of hand. I mean, you wouldn't catch me trying to talk on the phone while I was driving my car. And we walked past a church dedicated to me and Dad, and I said, those Romans always did overdo things a tad. And when a beggar asked us for some change, we walked past him into a bar. 'Cause healing the sick and helping blind men see, I haven't had a day off since AD 33. I feel so bad down to my lack of shoes. I got the day of fighty break carpenterial blues. Later on he took me to a circle where they worshipped other gods. It was 13 of them to 1 of me. I didn't like those odds. They could sense my presence and I could tell they didn't want me around. But I put aside my hesitance and wore a pleasant face. But when they started making jokes about my dad and my race, I said, hey, I'm kind of new at this God business, but I think I know what's going down, you know what I mean? I mean, uniting old enemies and tearing down walls. Who'd have thought that I would just get kicked in the balls again? I feel bad down to my lack of shoes. I got the day of fatty break, carpentarial blues. I'd seen enough, I didn't want to be rude, but I said, get me out of here, Dad, these are some weird dudes. So I vacated the body and I left him in the middle of a Bailey's Irish Cream. But my unexpected merger has him going through a phase. The inspiration's hit him and he hasn't slept in days. Even unbelievers see God, all you gotta do is dream. But I left this place with no speed to spare. I'm going back to Daddy's house, it's a lot safer there. I feel so bad down to my lack of shoes. I got the day of fatty break, carpentarial blues. I never thought that Savior was the role I would choose. I got the day of fatty break, carpentarial blues. I feel that even as a God I'm destined to lose. I got the day of fatty break, carpentarial blues.
So this one's about Desire of the Endless from Neil Gaiman's Sandman, and it's on my CD set. It's the Queen of All Deceivers. Last call in the House of Dreams. Won't you take a little false fire for the road? It burns so sweetly going down. Heading home across the water, you don't know you're carrying a heavy load. If you slide under, you might drown. That light's not leading you to harbor. You're sailing through a fever. It's the moon's reflection on the water. She is the queen of all deceivers. For a sinner's candy heart, for a dragon valentine, for the lips of a woman who burned herself on beauty. Would you forget your part, miss your cue and go up on your lines? Would you live life derelict of duty? That song's not calling you to harbor. You're listening to a fever. It's the voice of the king of Elfland's daughter. She is the queen of all deceivers. And your ship gets carried in the wake when her vessel of stars and thorns is leaving. You can try redeeming her with sacrifice, but she will always be deceiving. Like a face you can't forget, she slides beneath your secret skin, and you open your heart and she drags you under. She's not done playing with you yet. She knows just how to pull you in. She baits the hook with a taste of wonder. That flag's not signaling the harbor. It's the color of a fever. She is the undertow that pulls you deeper. She is the queen of all deceivers. And she wants to wear your heart in chains. She wants to know you cannot leave her. For she loves the taste of human pain. The lady is a bold deceiver. Last call in the House of Dreams. Won't you take a little false fire for the road? It burns so sweetly going down. Thank you. Do we want to jigger it so that falls last?
Yeah.
Okay. So, drugs or sailing?
Sailing.
Okay. Obviously, the people on this ship are in fact on drugs.
Twas Friday morning we set sail, and we were not far from the land. Our captain did spy a mermaid so fair, with a comb and a glass in her hand. And the ocean waves do roll, and the stormy winds do blow, and we poor sailors are skipping at the top, while the landlubbers lie down below, 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 while the landlubbers lie down below. Then up spoke the captain of our gallant ship, and a fine old man was he. This fishy mermaid has told me of our doom. We shall sink to the bottom of the sea, and the ocean waves do roll, and the stormy winds do blow, and we poor sailors are skipping at the top, while the landlubbers lie down below, 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 while the landlubbers lie down below. Then up spoke the mate of our gallant ship, and a spine-strapping lad was he. He said, I've a wife in Brooklyn by the sea. Tonight a widow she will be, and the ocean waves do roll, and the stormy winds do blow, and we poor sailors are skipping at the top, while the landlubbers lie down below, 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 while the landlubbers lie down below. Then up spoke the cook of our gallant ship, and a crazy old butcher was he. I care much more for my pots and my pans than I do for the bottom of the sea, and the ocean waves do roll, and the stormy winds do blow, and we poor sailors are skipping at the top, while the landlubbers lie down below, 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 while the landlubbers lie down below. Then up spoke the mute of our gallant ship, and a fine young mute was he. He said, and we sank to the bottom of the sea, and the ocean waves do roll, and the stormy winds do blow, and we poor sailors are skipping at the top, while the landlubbers lie down below, 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 while the landlubbers lie down below. 3 times around spun our gallant ship, and 3 times around spun she. 3 times around spun our gallant ship, and she sank to the bottom of the sea, and the ocean waves do roll, and the stormy winds do blow, and we poor sailors lovers are skipping at the top, while the land of lovers lie down below, below, below. While the land of lovers lie down below, below, below. While the land of lovers lie down below, below, below. While the land of lovers lie down below.
How much time?
Pretty much just enough time for the last one. Unless we want to go right up to 8.
Let's see what we can do. Okay, guys, Jungian alchemy or sleeping round?
Alchemy!
Okay. We're down in the dirt, we're down in the stone, we're down in the viscera and bone, we're down in the muck, we're down in the rot, we're down in the things we think we're not. I start with the lowest of the low that stands alone and you don't know. It's the most valuable thing you've got. I distill by stages the things you throw away. I'm making something precious out of dust and clay. We're down in the shit, we're down in the sick, we're down in the things that make us tick. We're down in the filth, we're down in the shame, we're down in the things we do not name. It starts in the world that lies beneath. It does not ask for your belief. It's made of the dream behind the game. The seed that germinates, the secrets that unfold. This is the change of living led to living gold. We're down in the dark, we're down in the grave, we're down in the sin no one forgave. We're down in the guts, we're down in the mud, we're down in the entrails and the blood. It comes from the darkness and the deep, the place on the other side of sleep, the roots that whisper of the bud, the rot that purifies, the fire that refines. It takes corrosion to make something that shines. Beneath our sorrows and our sins, the prima materia begins to teach us to read below the lines.
All right, so
We are ending with a little holiday song.
a little holiday song for kitties.
Yay, kitties!
God rest ye macroed cute lol cats, let everything be great. Remember that the ceiling cat doth watch us masturbate. He'll save us all from basement cat beneath the heating grate. Oh, tidings of catnip and food, catnip and food. Oh, tidings of catnip and food. Okay, thanks, bye.
Thank you all. There's a tip jar up front. This is how we pay our sound guy who does all this for us. He's awesome. Please put a little something in the tip jar. We are here on the third Saturday of every month at 6 with more pop culture and mythology and folklore references for you to feel awesome getting. Hey, Mark.
Yes.
Are we having a game this coming Friday? Or is it too close to the holiday?
Not too close to the holiday for me. I don't know about anybody else.
I'm
I'm
almost.
in.
It's almost done.
Awesome.
We're doing it.
This Friday.
Yay!
Okay,
We're doing it.
excellent.
We're having game Friday night.
But people who have gifts are exchanging gifts.
It is okay, Howard. It's okay.
Blocked down.
There will be many, many IOUs.
Yeah.
I have those nights too.
I'm making sure you're full.
12 hours before.
Oh, because they're not affected.
It's better late.
Oh, yeah, okay, that's fine, that's
I
fine.
have the day off.
I didn't notice if it indicated
Yeah.
when, so I was like, that sounds nice, but I'm like, oh, wait a second. Okay, I realized.
In person.
You see me worried.
That's right. Hello.
I'm just reading the copy that was
Sentinel RPGs. Sentinel Comics RPG starter kit.
Yeah, I believe it.
Are you already committed to your game?
Yeah.
My character.
Lots of comments about
Would somebody like hit the stop button on the camera?
I would
There's
give
a
it.